Hey, how you doing? Todd Walters, your home sold guaranteed realty. Another television edition right here. This one is if you're interested, if you're a real estate professional and you really want to say earn $1 million or more in commissions. Now, before you discount that, there are quite a few real estate professionals that do that, but they don't start there. Okay, I did it many times over. And of course, that's our primary role here at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, is to help real estate professionals grow their solo business into a super profitable sales team business. And there's nobody better at it. Let me show you one way that we help people get their brains around exactly what to do and how to get it done. And I'm going to assume that your goal is that you would like, as a real estate agent or real estate professional, you would like your real estate business to go from where it is now to over $1 million in annual revenue. That's gross commission income. You ready? Let me show you how to do that. So I've got my notepad right here. Let's zero in on this and let me show you what I mean. So here's what I've done. I've got my calculator. Okay, I'm going to show you how this works now. There are metrics in this model that will make it easy for you to see how to do this, or at least how we go about doing it in our model, in our plan, in our system, in our model, and everything that we do at Your Home Sold Guaranteed. Okay, ready? All right. So let's say that you've got a big goal of $1 million in annual commission income. All right? Okay, well, I'm just going to go with our numbers at this company based on averages. Okay? So average selling price across the board, $250,000, almost straight up to the penny. Average across the board. That means there's some agents doing well over 300, some agents doing less, depending on what part of the town or the market area they may be in, right? Okay, so average 250. The average commission rate per buyer side, I'm going to go with the buyer side, not the listing side. I'm going to go with the lowest denominator. In this case, this would be buy-side transactions. And as you know, if you've paid any attention to what we do, you know that our average commission rate on buyer transactions is right at 3.5%. That's a full 1 percentage point above the average agent in the MLS, because their average is around 2.5. And I know that yours, probably 2.5, maybe to 3 in that range, but no joke, the average commission rate, 3.5%, which makes real estate agents at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty the highest paid real estate professionals per buyer sale in the entire board. You like that? All right. So $250,000 average selling price, average commission rate 3.5%, that equals $8,750. Okay, now it doesn't take a genius to know that if I take $1 million and divide it by $8,750, that gives me 114 sales. So that means over the course of a year, 12 months, I need to sell 114 homes with the law of averages here and equal $1 million. All right, now, this is where the math kicks in. We're going to use a metric. We're going to call it the 50% rule, which I call a pathetic standard. All right? But we have to apply a metric so you know where to jump into your business throughout the pipeline to fix it if you need to. So you guys ready? So we're going to use a 50% rule. Here's what that means. So in order to sell 114 homes, I actually have to have 228 clients. So I'm going to write that down, 228 clients. Wait, here's what that means. I signed 228 customers to a listing agreement or a buyer agreement, 228. Half of them bought or sold. Again, I'm going to come back to why the 50% in a minute. It's very important. All right, so that's what that means. And of course, this is over the course of a year. Stay with me. All right, so what does that mean? Well, that means that I had to actually meet face-to-face with 456 meetings or appointments. These are appointments that actually happened. Okay, so I met face-to-face with 456 people. I signed 228 of them to an agreement. I got 114 closings. Now, to have 456 face-to-face meetings, oh my goodness, what does that mean? That means I had to book 912 appointments. 912 appointments booked. Not set, but booked. So I booked 912 appointments throughout the year. I ended up with 456 face-to-face meetings, signed 228 of them to an agreement, and sold 114 of them using the 50% rule. Now, what does this mean, 912 appointments? Well, let's break it down. It's not as big as you think. Remember, that's over the course of a year. All right, so let's divide that by 12. That's 76 appointments a month. So I'm going to write that down. 76 a month. And I'm going to divide that by 4 weeks in a month. That gives me 19 appointments a week. Let's say you work a 6-day work week, which I would expect hardworking professionals to do. So I'm going to divide that by 6. It's 3. So that's 3 appointments a day. So that's how it works. 3 right there. So here's the metric. Let's say you worked on my team. This is what we're after. We went into the future and said, okay, we want to earn $1 million in commissions over the next 12 months. So here's what we're going to do on a daily basis. We're not leaving. We're not going home. We're not shutting down until we have at least 3 new appointments set. Not that we went on, not that we got agreement signed, but that's the role of the rainmaker, the team leader, is to make sure that there's the set number of appointments as a minimum. Now think it through. So that means that if I'm getting at least 3 appointments a day, and this is stretching out over some consistency, I've already made my $1 million, assuming a 50% rule. Now, why the 50% rule? Here's why. Let's say that I'm the team leader and you're on my team. I'm going to figure out where I need to jump in. Here's what I mean. Let's say that we're getting 228 clients signed to an agreement. We're only selling, say, 40% of them. So we got 228 signed people to an agreement. We're signing people to contracts, listing agreements, and buyer agreements, but less than 50% of them are turning into closings. Okay, well, we're below our 50% number. So you know what that means? That means I got to jump into that part of the business and fix it departmentally. Let's look at this number. Let's say we're doing a pretty good job of setting appointments, getting new appointments set every day. But less than half, let's say 35% of the appointments that we're setting are actually happening. So we have a 65% failure rate. Well, you know what that means? I'm below the 50% standard, and I got to jump into that part of the business, into that part of the pipeline to fix it. So without having an applied metric or rule at each point in the pipeline, I don't know if I'm on track to meet my goals or to fall short, and I wouldn't know where to jump in to fix something because I wouldn't even know if it was broken. You guys get that? All right, so that's why it's important to have a metric or a number in the pipeline. So in this case, we applied a 50% rule. Now that's departmentally. Now what we want to do is we want to apply it individually. So let's say I've got 4 agents on my team. So once I've got each point in the pipeline above the 50% rule, you don't leave it alone. We make it even better. Here's what I mean. So by now I'm probably operating with 2, 3, or 4 or more agents on my team that are getting appointments and working with buyers and sellers. Agreed? All right. So let's say that here we are in the going on the appointments and getting agreement signed. We're looking in between in that pipeline. And I find out that we're running a 60% conversion rate to meeting with the customer and getting agreements signed, buyer and listing agreements. So on the surface, it would be like, oh, we're above the 50% rule, we're good. All right, but when I break it down, here's what's happening. I've got 3 agents that are above the 50% rule. You know, 1 at 70, 2 at 65, and then I've got 1 agent that is below 50%. His conversion numbers are like 40. You guys get it? So departmentally, I'm above the 50% rule. But individually, I got 1 sales guy on my team that's below it. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm not going to jump in and like fix the department. I'm going to jump in and help that 1 agent who's below the agreed upon standard. They're the ones that need help. So that's why the metric is important departmentally, but also individually. So the appointment part in the pipeline, in this case 3 appointments a day, the pipeline goes this way, but the pipeline also goes this way. And here's what I mean by that. In order to have appointments, what do I need? Right, I need leads. I need buyer and seller leads. So let's say you're an inside sales agent on my team calling the leads that we're getting. Here's the question I want to know. I want to know, out of all the people that you talked to today, how many of the people that you spoke to said yes to planning on making a move within the next 3 to 6 months? So here's what I'm looking for. If you talk to a customer and you ask this question, are you planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months? And they say yes. My expectation is that you're closing for a face-to-face appointment with that customer. If you ask them the question of, hey, are you planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months? And they say no, then we're not going to close for a face-to-face appointment with that customer. We don't want to waste their time. They're longer term. So we're going to put them on a follow-up system and provide them with additional information, right? But the customers, prospects that said yes to moving in under 6 months, my expectation is that you're going to be closing all of those good folks on a face-to-face meeting and appointment. So what is the percentage of time that you should get an appointment for everybody that you talk to that's planning on moving in under 6 months? Right, it's the same thing, 50% rule. So if you talk to 10 people today, and out of the 10 people that you spoke to, 100% of them said, yeah, I'm planning on moving in the next 3 to 6 months. Okay, and you only get 4 appointments set, that's a 40% conversion rate. That means you're below the agreed upon minimum standard. So I got to work with you. But departmentally, we want to be above that number. So if we're running 60%, 70% of everybody that we talk to that's planning on moving within the next 6 months, and we're booking 6 or 7 out of 10 of those to an appointment, departmentally, I'm good. So I'm going to be making a profit. But individually, we're less than good because I've got 1, maybe 2 people, whatever the number is, below the agreed upon minimum standard, and I'm going to work with them individually. So without a metric or a standard at every point in the pipeline, including on lead generation, you will never be able to scale your business. All you're going to scale is problems. But this is the role of a team leader or the rainmaker on our super profitable sales team model. So as you begin to get more business than you can handle, you're going to bring people in to help you with the overflow. We're not giving leads out, we're giving appointments out. As you can see, inside salespeople, the team leader, they're the ones calling the leads and booking appointments. And then you become way more efficient. And because you have an agreed upon standard, okay, whatever the number is, I just used the 50% rule here. So with even a low pathetic standard, you can see that, hey man, I just need to book 3 appointments a day. How many leads do I need to get 3 appointments a day? And when I'm booking 3 appointments a day, I'm making $1 million. So there you go. There is the math, the metrics, or at least examples of it, of how it's done in the super profitable sales team model. After all, we wrote the book on it. Hey, if you like this and you want more, make sure you reach out to us and get more, because there's a lot more where that came from. All right? Hey, I want to thank you for watching Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty TV. That's a lot of fun to be able to help you with this and shine some light on it, or at least bring some clarity to how in the world do real estate agents go from where they are to becoming a super profitable sales team business, earning over $1 million or more. How's that work? Now you know. All right, thanks again. Hey, go serve big. We'll see you.
Go serve big.